Sweater wetter. Does anybody else accidentally say that? I do all the time. Sweater weather. Hey everybody, welcome to episode 33 of the Stop, Drop, and Knit podcast. My name is Lisa and I am coming to you from Long Island, New York, where summer has finally arrived. Oh my goodness, you guys, it is like disgustingly hot out here. It is like, this reminds me of when I lived in Florida. I lived in Florida for like seven years. I don't know how I did it, because now I step foot in Florida for like a couple of days to visit and I just die immediately. I do not know how I managed 7 years of living in Florida, because I do not like to be hot and sticky and ugh. So anyway, yeah, summer has arrived and it is just kind of miserable out here. But Owen is inside watching, I think, Stuart Little with my husband. So I have some time to film a podcast and I am going to take advantage of it, even though I feel disgusting. So as long as I don't look disgusting yet, I might by the end of this. So, okay, thank you guys so much, everybody who entered my 2,000 subscriber giveaway. I am sure that you've all been eagerly awaiting the announcement of the winner. Last weekend we were kind of preparing to get hit by the Hurricane Henry or Henri, and thankfully we prepared for kind of the worst, moved everything inside from the porch and everything like that, and got everything out of the way, and then all we got was rain, which was a real blessing. So I did not film last weekend because of the storm, and now I am here to film today. Okay, so I'm not going to keep you guys in anticipation of the giveaway winner any longer. I am going to go ahead and pick a winner, and I'm going to videotape that footage and insert it here. So I don't have that available right now. I'm going to do that later on tonight, and you guys will see that now. So congratulations to whoever you are, and thank you all so much for entering the giveaway. I think I had over 100 people enter, so yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And again, I just wanted to thank Tabitha over at Long Island Yarn and Farm for sponsoring this giveaway with the beautiful yarn and soap that you provided. So thank you so much for supporting my podcast and gracing one of our viewers with these lovely products of yours. Really appreciate it so much. Okay, so no finished objects again today. I know you guys think that like with 2 weeks in between filming episodes, I probably have a whole lot of knitting, etc. to show for it. I did accomplish a lot in these past 2 weeks, and the last handful of days I have been doing a ton of knitting. Actually, I've been like really enjoying getting back into my knitting. But these are the last couple of weeks of summer before Owen is heading back into school. He is starting 2nd grade on Thursday. So that is really exciting. I cannot believe I have a 2nd grader. So he's still little. He's only 6. He's one of the youngest in his class. He's got a late November birthday. So most of the other kids are already 7, so it seems a little bit strange to have a 2nd grader, but I'm so excited for him. He's totally ready, and I'm sure he's eager to go back. But I have been soaking up these last days of summer, and I have just been taking him all over Long Island exploring nature. I have grown up here. I've not lived here my entire adult life, but a large portion of my life has been spent on Long Island, and a lot of the places that I am exploring with Owen are new to me as well, because I just never growing up, my parents would take us across the country. I was really lucky. I did a lot of traveling, a little bit of international traveling when I was growing up. I saw most of the country when I was growing up, you know, all the country's biggest landmarks and everything. But as far as Long Island, I really, you know, we haven't seen a whole lot of it, really. I feel like I just don't even know what has been around me this whole time. And I'm sure that many of you can probably relate to living in a place but not exploring your own surroundings as thoroughly as when you visit a place when you're traveling and have such a finite amount of time. I think when you live somewhere and you grow up somewhere, you just kind of feel like you could go and do that anytime, and then you kind of never get around to it. So yeah, so Owen and I have been doing a lot of exploring. It was more comfortable, that's the word. It was more comfortable to be spending a lot of outdoor days with him when the weather was cooler than it is now. But yeah, we've been exploring all kinds of parks, some of which have beaches at the end of them, which he just loves because he is on a huge horseshoe crab kick right now. He is basically collecting horseshoe crab exoskeletons. So pretty much that's like the only thing on his brain right now is horseshoe crabs. Everything is like revolving around, can we go find more horseshoe crab exoskeletons? I think he's got enough. He's got like 5. That's a lot. So yeah, but he found 3 of them. We took a trip out to Shelter Island. I had never been to Shelter Island, or like my parents said that they'd only been there once. And so I don't know if they took us or if they did that maybe when I was in college or something. But I know that it was the first time for me, and Bryce had never been to Shelter Island either, and neither had Owen. So we spent a day in Mahamanek. Is that what it's called? Mahashimek? I could insert it here. I don't remember exactly. But we went to explore the nature trails at the Nature Conservancy out there, and it was just gorgeous. So we did 3 of the 4 trails, which was like a total of 6 or 7 miles of walking, which was a lot. But about halfway through, there was this little beach area, and he found these really big 3 horseshoe crab exoskeletons. So for like the last 3 miles of our walk, we're walking through the woods, through the trails with these horseshoe crabs, and it just seemed like totally out of place, and to have like horseshoe crabs in the middle of the woods. So yeah, it was exciting. And as we were leaving there, we bumped into a woman who studied marine biology at Cornell and specialized in horseshoe crabs. So she told Owen that the 3 that he had were actually really, really cool because they were very, very old and big. So anyway, I am sure that you guys want to hear about knitting now. So that was my very long explanation to say I don't have any finished objects. So we're just going to move right on into whips. Okay, so my first whip is out of Wonderland Yarns Alice DK base in the colorway Kerfluffle, and this is the yarn that was graciously provided for me for part of my duties as brand ambassador for Wonderland Yarns. So they sent me 5 gorgeous skeins of this Kerfluffle. So their DK base is called Alice, and it is 242 yards, and it is 70% superwash merino and 30% silk, and it is just glorious. So I have been working on a late to finish test knit for Annie Lupton of Boho Chic Fiber Co. This was one of the 2 test knits. You guys all know about my mother-in-law unexpectedly going into the hospital. I will update you on that later, but that was the reason for me neglecting to finish my test knits on time. And so they're still lingering. Last week I wore one of the 2, and this is the second one in my last test knit to complete. And I put most of a sleeve on this sweater. I am loving it so much, you guys. Okay, So this is called Lola Chic, and this is a pattern that Annie designed in collaboration with Lola Beans. I think her name is Adele or Adela from Lola Beans Yarn Co. And she provided this beautiful speckled yarn for Annie to use in a sweater design. And so that was why I requested a speckled colorway from Wonderland yarns, because Annie designed this with a speckled colorway in mind. So this is a very simple textured stitch pattern on the front. It is like a 4-row repeated pattern to create that gorgeous textured stitch. And then there's a little baby cable on both sides of the center textured section, and it is cropped. It is very cropped. It is like there. So I will be wearing this over something at some point, because I wear my cropped sweaters over something, not to expose my belly, because I'm not 20 something anymore. Anyway, so I thought I was gonna maybe have both sleeves done, and I have not even one completed, but it is well on its way. I am up to the cuff. I can't really hold it. Basically the cuff is 3 inches long. I'm just trying to see where this sits on my arm. So about there, like just below the elbow, a couple of inches maybe. And so it's going to be about like 3 inches of a ribbed cuff on that. And so yeah, so that is the progress of my Lola Bean sweater. So I'm going to try to knock out that other sleeve and this cuff this week and get this one blocking. Because even though it is ridiculously hot out here right now, we are approaching fall, and in a few weeks into September, hopefully the weather will start to cool, and by October hopefully we'll be entering sweater weather. Does anybody else accidentally say that? I do all the time. Sweater weather is approaching in probably about 6 weeks, and so I definitely want to have this ready for then. I wanted to address a comment that I had gotten. So last week I had everything you see here except the sleeve, and I held up the back of the sweater, and somebody mentioned in the comments how the top portion of the back looks quite different from the bottom portion. I don't know. I don't notice a huge difference. Maybe it is slightly less speckly, and so they were wondering why that happened. So first I want to say I am not alternating skeins for this sweater. I just didn't see a need to. But I think that, I'm sure that is why, because on the top portion here, it is a different skein from what I used in the bottom portion. And then the other reason would be that why things are just falling differently is because the whole bottom part of the sweater was knit in the round. And then once you get to this point of the arm here, where you can, that's I guess where the biggest color change is really noticeable. So this portion then here, I can't remember if I started with the back side or with the front side, but obviously for this part, I'm pretty sure I used a new skein. I want to say that I did the front, like the front portion first, and then picked up and finished the back, maybe. So yeah, it's a different skein, but also for this part, I was knitting back and forth and not in the round. So when you knit back and forth, it's gonna take twice as long to get through one round of, an equivalent of one round of the length of the yarn, right? So like a back and forth would basically equate one full circle. So the yarn and the speckles, even if I was using the same skein, it would sit differently. the speckles would speckle, I guess, less frequently if they're not directly on top of one another. If there's, you guys know what I mean, I think. So, it's a combination of factors. Honestly, to me, I guess I can see it. It doesn't bother me. It, I knew going in that I didn't feel like alternating skeins for this, and I don't regret not alternating skeins. I think that, to me, it looks perfectly lovely. Most of the time in the winter and fall months, I wear my hair down. My hair is going to be covering it anyway, even if I did care, which I don't. But yeah, I mean, that would be the explanation, is that I was on a different skein of the yarn and did not alternate skeins, but also because that portion was knit front and back and not in the round. So the yarn was just sitting differently. Now for the sleeves, I'll tell you how I'm doing the sleeves is I did 2 swatches for this sweater. And so here's one of my 2 swatches. I never cut the backs because I just didn't. I was not at all worried. I think I'm actually going to have more than a full skein left of yarn because I really only needed 4 skeins and they sent me 5. So, I didn't trim it, not because I was afraid I was going to run out of yarn or anything, but just because I'm not going to keep this swatch. I'm going to unravel it regardless. And so what I did was, when I picked up the stitches for this sleeve, I actually picked it up and started knitting from my other swatch. And so I got to this point of the sleeve. That was how much of the sleeve was taken up knitting just from my first swatch. And then I switched to this skein for the rest of the sleeve. And so I'm gonna do the same thing. I don't know how much of this skein I will have left, but these swatches both came, the 2 swatches both came from the very first skein that I knit, which would be like the bottom of the sweater. So I thought that it would help make it look more consistent by starting each sleeve with yarn from the swatch. And that way I'm using up my swatch and I don't have just like these little bits of yarn not skeined up and left over and everything. And then, I don't know, maybe since I haven't done the cuff yet, I'm considering whether to start the cuff from a new skein and then using this one after I run out of the swatch so that the sleeves both look pretty similar. I don't know. It's a possibility. I certainly can do that. So I guess it just depends what I feel like doing in the moment when I sit back down and knit on the cuff. Whether I break this yarn and attach a new skein for the cuff. I certainly could do that. But yeah, anyway, it doesn't bother me that the speckles look different on the back of the sweater than they do on the front. I could have alternated skeins. If that would bother you, then I definitely suggest alternating skeins from the get-go on your sweater. And then you won't run into that issue. It'll have a more uniform look all the way through. So that is the status of Lola Chic. And so hopefully I won't be wearing this on an episode for quite a bit because it's a long sleeve sweater, but hopefully I will have it at least blocking by the next time I film. So I'll probably finish it first and then film and then block it. So, and then after it is blocked and the ends are woven in, you guys can look forward to seeing that on an episode in the fall sometime. So, all right, that is whip number 1. The next one I'm really excited to show you guys. Oh, so I forgot to mention that I've been keeping this sweater in my hide and hammer bag. I think it's style number 3. I just love this thing. So I roll it down when I am knitting from it, but I just wanted to show you guys how this works with yarn in it, because I think when I got it, I wasn't really sure how it exactly worked. So there is a lot of room. Like, you could fill this thing all the way up with a really big project, and I guess I guess you might be able to clasp it. Like, this is the loosest one here. Clasp that. So if you wanted to clasp it, you would be able to fill it up maybe like that much. So there's quite a bit of room in here. And if you didn't want to close it because you had just more yarn or something that you were trying to stuff in there, then you can really stuff it like all the way up and then just like keep it open. And then, so let's see. So you roll it down. I really love this bag. I want to get so many more, but I'm being a good girl. So then this is how full mine is right now with a sweater project in it. So then this part easily just goes over, and then I can clasp this. See, on the tightest one is where mine is right now. So this is a great bag for a larger project. And then it's got this cute little, like, you can just slip it on your wrist and knit from the bag. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, so that is my hide and hammer bag, and it is my favorite color. I don't remember the name of the color, but I purchased this when I visited Brooklyn General back in, was it January or February? Might have been February. Yeah, earlier this year. So Catherine has some of these. At least she had a few in this color. So if you like this color, you guys can check out Brooklyn General. Otherwise, you can go head on over to the Hide and Hammer website. She's always, I follow them on Instagram, and she's always coming out with new fabrics and designs, beautiful like tie-dyed ones, and I want so many more. So anyway, all right, the next whip I am keeping in this little bag that is like a backpack style drawstring bag. And I got this, I ordered this from Fiberspace a few months ago. And this is a Danica, it's a Danica Studio bag. And so this is where I keep my Bright Axis Tee sweater. So my Bright Axis Tee is a pattern from this Knit Happy with Self-Striping yarn book by Stephanie Lotvin. And I will show you the sweater. Mine looks super different from this. And you'll see why in a minute. So Stephanie, for her book, she knit hers with yarn from Mustache Yarns. And I guess the skein that she used has lots and lots and lots of colors. So her stripes are pretty thick. I mean, thin. Her stripes are very thin and plentiful. And so I finally got to the point, all right, this is gonna be hard to show you guys because of the construction. I probably am going to lay it down on the ground and take a picture of it and insert it here or soon so that you guys can actually see like how it is laying out so far, because I promise you when I hold this up, it's not going to, you're not going to be able to get a feel for like the size of it and stuff like that. I'm just looking for the label. So my main body color is out of this purple, and this is a naturally dyed Knit Picks Hawthorne fingering yarn that was naturally dyed by somebody somewhere in logwood. And so it's this gorgeous purple, and for like months now, this is all you guys have seen of my sweater. You've just seen purple stockinette in the round for like episodes and episodes and episodes. And so I had been waiting to finally cake up this gorgeous skein of self-striping rainbow yarn from Knitterly Things. It is her August 2020 club colorway called Squash Blossoms. And so my hope was to get that skeined up this August, or caked up, it was already skeined up, caked up this August, and to finally start knitting on the rainbow part of the sweater, and I totally have. So, I mean, I guess it was hard to tell in the skein, but this turns out to only be a 4-color rainbow, which is totally fine. I love how this is coming out, but you're gonna see my stripes are much thicker and wider, and yeah, so, but it looks so pretty, and this part of the sweater is addicting. So, all right, I'm gonna lay it down and I'm gonna take a picture when I'm done filming. I will try to hold this up. You'll see why it just looks really awkward in a minute though. But this is my progress. I am, seriously guys, I am like, maybe 8 back and forth rows away from the back border being done and from just binding this off. I just got sleepy last night and I just couldn't stay up to finish it. I thought I was gonna have the whole back panel, but it's close enough. It's, yeah. Probably we're gonna get a bit into the orange. I guess the orange is the next color to come up. So it'll probably end on an orange. And this one started on a small portion of the purple. These colors are so pretty. I feel like this is such a happy summer sweater, which I will try. I'm gonna try to finish this in time for next weekend, because next Sunday, so not today that this episode is coming out Sunday, but September 5th Sunday, when I hope to have an episode for you then, that is my birthday. And I would love to have this done sometime this week and get this blocked and have a sweater for my birthday. So anyway, so yeah, that's what the back is looking like. And it is just about done. And I was really right about how good these purples blend together. I think it looks really, really good. But you can see my stripes are like probably twice as wide as the sample that Stephanie knit for the book. And that's fine. People use like all kinds of self-striping yarn. It'll work however you do it. It just has a little bit of a different look to it. And so, yeah, so that is how mine is coming out. And I am just so excited to have made this particular progress on this sweater. I wanted to show you guys the seam and how I was really wondering like how she did this. It's the most simple construction, so easy to knit, and it just looks so good. Like it's a really nice looking connection for that seam. So I don't know if it's like too much. You basically do it by like slip knitting those together before you turn around and do the backside row. I don't think that gives away too much of the pattern, because like you need stitch counts and stuff. But yeah, you knit, and then you slip knit, and then you turn it around and you purl back on the other side. And so you're actually knitting up and down like this way, so that the stripes, as they're growing, they look up and down. And you're gradually working your way across the width of the sweater, so that your sweaters fall vertically, the stripes fall vertically instead of horizontally. Super clever, super easy, and just a beautiful look. And the middle portion of this, which is rolling over right now, but she has in the center of the neckline a really pretty detail at the edge that she does with like some yarn overs and stuff. So yeah, it's such a simple sweater. This part took a long time. I'm not gonna lie, that part was long, but it's no longer than making like the worsted boxy, or the regular boxy is actually fingering weight yarn too. It's just a lot of stockinette in the round. So it was great. I need a project like that all the time. But after doing so much of that, it is really, really fun to knit this part of it. So I'm so excited. So that took me maybe 3 sessions of a couple of hours each to get this, almost the entire back panel done. So the front, see, this looks like really awkward. The front has like rolled all the way down. And this is going to be the front. So that's actually the back of the sweater, right? And then the front is gonna be right there. And it's probably sitting a little higher than it's going to, but you know, mine is kind of cropped. It's also a superwash yarn. So I think it's gonna be a really cute drapey fit. It's really hard to get a sense. I just knit it to the exact length, the body length that she recommended in the pattern. And so, you know, I'm not really sure. I guess this is gonna sit up on the shoulder like that. So it'll probably fall with the split being right over the bust line, like right above, which is what it looks like in her book. And then the length is looking, yeah, it's looking right around there. So there's a little bit of shaping done on, I don't remember if it was the back. I guess it was the back, maybe, to make it like maybe a little longer in back. I'm not sure, don't remember. But yeah, so the front of my sweater is still only looking like that. It's just rolling down quite a bit. I just think it's gonna be a really fun one to wear. And yeah, it's gonna look identical to this, but this is technically the back. So it's so happy, and I've got some blue fuzzies on it from my blanket. But yeah, I really like it. This squash blossom colorway is really nice. And then depending on how much of the squash blossom I have left, I know that I have purple left. Maybe I can whip up some socks to go with this. So that would be super fun. So we'll see how much I have left. So I'm hoping that this will be a finished object to film my birthday episode next week. So we will see. If not, it'll definitely be done for the one after that. All right, so that is it for my whips. Let's move on to my Knitworthy whip. Okay, let's do Knitworthy. So for Knitworthy this week, I have had this project in just this cute little Life is Good bag. It is not a project bag, but it is from the brand Life is Good. I don't know how many retail stores they still have open. I know a lot of them have closed, but I think you can still find their products in places. So what is in this bag is the shawl that I have been knitting for my mother-in-law, Mary, out of this beautiful yarn from Long Island Yarn and Farm. So this is a Tabitha yarn. This one is 90% alpaca and 10% silk. So those little blue specks, light blue specks you see in there are the silk. And in the last episode, I had shared that Mary was bored enough in her long-time assisted care or acute care or whatever the LTAC is called, and that she was on Facebook and she was calling everybody, and she called my husband, and everybody got to talk to her except me. And so I said, Mary, you need to call me. And she listened. One day I was out with Owen and we were on a beach somewhere, and my phone started ringing, and I looked down and it was my mother-in-law calling me, FaceTiming me. I was so excited. Oh my goodness. So the best news is that Mary is now in regular rehab facilities. So she has graduated from the long-term facility to regular rehab, and she is doing great. I talked to her just one day, but my husband has talked to her several times, and she, from what I hear, is just sounding more and more like herself with every phone call. And yeah, so she is doing spectacularly well, which we still can't believe it, and we are just so thankful. And it's just the craziest. We thought we were gonna lose her, and now she's like in regular recovery. It's so much good fortune, and I am sure that a lot of your prayers went a long way in helping her get there. So thank you all so much for your continued prayers for my mother-in-law. And I don't know if this is gonna look any different. I did do a little bit more on it, probably like another full repeat on it. We are now, let's see, how much more of this skein do I have left. I can show you my progress. So this is a full skein, and then this is what I have left of skein number 2. So we're still about halfway through, I guess, but well, I'm gonna try to finish this skein soon and get to the 2/3 of the way. But Mary herself told me no rush in finishing it. She plans to be here for Christmas, and this was supposed to be her Christmas gift. So I am actively working on it, but I'm really showing it to you mostly to give you guys updates on her health and status and recovery, and it's looking gorgeous. I forgot to say the pattern. This is the Classic Hampton Wrap by Lisa Hoffman, and it is a pattern that is available with request when you purchase. It takes 3 skeins of sport weight yarn from Tabitha. So for Long Island Yarn and Farm purchase, if you choose to purchase her yarn, you can request this pattern and you'll get it for free. But that's the only way to get the pattern. So yeah, so that is Knitworthy. So yeah, so thankful. That is all the knitting. I do promise you guys that by the next episode, I will have progress for the Harry Potter knit-along. I have just been focused on getting some of these other whips done, and it's on the back of my mind all the time, like, oh, I should dig that one out and work on it. But at the same time, Owen has not been bugging me for it. It's also in a good place. I have one more wing to go for Hedwig, and then I get to stuff it and start sewing it together, I think. So it's in a good place. I think that once I resume work on it, the rest of it's going to go pretty quickly. So yeah, next time I promise you guys I will show you Hedwig. But if you guys have not been peeking at the thread, not too many have posted in the thread, but one of you has already knit Hedwig, and it looks fantastic, super fantastic, and also a Cornish pixie, and that turned out also fantastic, super cute. But oh my gosh, I think she couldn't hold off to gift it to her daughter. I want to say it was her daughter for her birthday, Hedwig. So I think Hedwig has been knit and gifted already, and that the Cornish pixie is maybe a Christmas present for somebody special. I don't know. So yeah, so I was excited to see like people posting some projects in there. So I hope that you guys will be joining in on the Harry Potter knit along. I will show you my Hedwig progress again next episode. And let's see, Tanis Gray's new book is coming out in a month now. I think the release date is September 28th, I think. So you guys can even go, I'll have a link down below. I'll stick it in this episode because I'm talking about the Harry Potter knit along. I'll put the links to her upcoming book as well as the one that we're currently using for the knit along. And you guys can go ahead and pre-order her new book or order her older book, the first book, if you guys are interested in joining in. So yeah, so that is all the knitting content that I have for you today, but I have some fun spinning updates to talk about, and yeah, natural dyeing updates as always as well are plentiful, so stick around. All right, let's talk about my spinning project. So I have been busy, still on the same project, but I have been plying away on my Frabjous fibers. This is an older colorway. It's number 252 Iris. It is a hand-dyed Polworth wool top, and that's what the label looks like. And then this is what one of my singles looks like. Beautiful purples and greens colors there. So I am about halfway through the plying. I've only just started these two. I had 4 to start with. So I had this little bit left over from the first 2, and then I figured since one of these is a bit bigger, like this one is going to also have a bit left over, and then whatever is left over from that I will ply together with this one. So it's, oh my gosh, it's just so pretty. But, okay. I finished, I don't remember which one is the newest one, but I have 2 cute little skeins now that are all plied together. So I don't know which is the second one. Really have no idea, but they are so cute and so pretty. I love these colors together. I know like some people have told me that like purple and green together are their favorite, and I never really thought about purple and green. But when you're talking about flowers, then it totally makes sense. And seeing it together like this, I'm definitely enjoying it. I don't know which one was which, so I don't know if this is the one that I showed you guys last time, or this might be my newer one. I don't know. But here, I'll undo this one. Maybe I can probably undo both for you guys to see. So, it is so pretty. Actually, yeah, so I wanted to show you guys because I had an idea of how I wanted to use this. So last time, I think I mentioned that this was reminding me of spin cycle yarns, just in the way that, with all like the barber pole stripes of the colors and everything. And so that got me thinking to using this in like a color work design, maybe something by Andrea Mowry. I have not gone through to look at designs yet, but I wanted to show you. All right, so I will be releasing my Harrisville Designs video soon. I have been holding off on that because you guys probably, if you've been with me, you guys know that I had been working on a test knit for Caitlin Hunter, and it was supposed to be released back in June. And then Caitlin got really, really busy moving back to Alaska. And the release of the pattern, like all of us are done test knitting it. The pattern is ready. She's just like life has just occupied her, and she just hasn't released it yet. And I happened to wear that sweater for my interview when I did it in Harrisville, because at that time, that sweater pattern was supposed to be coming out later that week. So I've been delaying releasing my Harrisville Designs interview that I did, but I do have permission. I reached out to Caitlin. I reached out to Caitlin and the moderator of the group about, you know, what should I do, because I've been holding off on my video, and I've got permission to go ahead and release it even though I am wearing the sweater, and I think that she might actually be releasing it pretty soon. So yeah, she has this don't reveal a full photo prior to the release. So then because I was wearing it in the video, I got concerned. I was like, oh, I don't want to release this video because I'm wearing the sweater and she hasn't released the pattern, and I don't want Caitlin Hunter getting mad at me, or, you know, just doing something that is against what her wishes are. So anyway, that is a long way of saying that when I was at Harrisville Designs, I picked up more than this actually, but this is what I brought out. I picked up some, what do they call it? Mill ends. That's what they call this. So this is mill ends. So these are yarns that they offer at, I think, at like a discount, but it's like, it's similar, like it kind of looks a little bit like their daylights, but it's not the same colors as them. It's just like using ends from like other yarns and whatnot. But this, I have one skein, and I think you guys can probably see, it's got like a hint of purple in it. And then these two skeins, I know for sure. So I think that this one is more of a DK weight, and I just have one skein of this, but these two are a fingering weight. And these two, I don't know how much you can really see it on camera, but there's like a hint of a very pale green in this one. And so I got thinking that my handspun, all right, so now I'll just put one of the green ones back. So I've got purple and green over here, right? And I got thinking that my handspun would look really, really great with both of these. Probably what I'm gonna do, because I have like too scant. I think there's a lot of yardage in this. I'm not really sure. That's the thing with having mill ends, is I don't know, but probably with 2 of these and whatever amount of hand spun that I have, I could probably at least get like a short sleeve sweater project out of this. That's kind of what I'm thinking, because I think that this is pretty generous yardage. I'll have to see. Maybe I'll shoot them a message and ask like approximately how many yards are in here. I think it said on the sign and I just don't remember. But yeah, I mean, how gorgeous would these look together, right? So I'm excited because usually when I do my hand spun, I mean, I haven't done that many, but like I really don't know what I'm gonna do with it. And yeah, just thinking about what I picked up from Harrisville and like seeing the purple and the green, I was like, I know that I at least have a green tinted one. And then I found a purple one that I had gotten as well. I just think that that might be really, really gorgeous. Yeah, so these are the greens, and then I don't know how much hand spun I'm going to have, but usually in a colorwork sweater, you don't use that much yardage. So if I have enough yardage, I might be able to knock out an accessory, like a hat, a colorwork hat, maybe with this purple DK one. I don't know. So I mean, it's gonna look so nice together. But I mean, I don't have enough of this to do anything like a sweater, but I bet I could do a hat and maybe some mitts, maybe, just depending on how much I have. So I'm even more excited now to finish spinning my yarn, because I have like yarn to put it with, and I know that there's patterns out there that I can find easily. Probably Andrea Mowry, like, I don't think I'd have enough to do like her sparky sweater. I know she's got a cardigan, definitely don't have enough for that, but maybe a hat, like the sparky hat or something with this purple one. I don't know, but yeah, I think that these are gonna be like a short sleeved sweater with hand spun as a little bit of color work. So yeah, that is my spinning progress. Still have a lot to get through, and I really haven't been putting that much energy into my spinning, because in addition to spending a lot of time outdoors traipsing through wooded areas and beaches all over Long Island with Owen this summer, the first week since I filmed last week's podcast, I did a ton more of playing with my naturally dyed yarn. So we're gonna move on to that now, because there is so much to show you guys. Okay, you guys, so the dyeing segment of my video ended up being like really long, like 40 minutes long. I had so much to show you guys that I am going to separate this into 2 separate videos. So there's going to be a part 1, there's going to be a part 2. The part 2 is just going to be the dyeing. I'm just going to release that as a separate video, either on the same day or maybe later in the day. I don't know, or like later in the week. I mean, I'll probably try to release them both on the same day so that you guys can just like watch both or what. But it was a lot on the dyeing, so it's going to be a separate video. So that being said, spinning was my last segment of part 1 of the podcast, and thank you guys so much for being with me today. I enjoy your company, even though I can't see you. I hope that you enjoy my company. I don't know why you would be here if you didn't, so I'm assuming that you do. And thank you guys, all 2,000 plus of you, for subscribing. Congratulations to whoever won the giveaway, because I still haven't picked a winner. But you guys will already know that answer, so congratulations. And like this video by giving it a thumbs up. If you are not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? I keep coming back to you, so I hope that if you keep coming back to me, then you will subscribe. And until next time, bye. Thank you guys so much. Yeah.
Of the whole.
All right, so this is the Long Island Railroad right here. And then this is a little,
Can we go into the tunnel?
yeah, we're gonna go through it. This is a little tunnel.
It might be a bit
You can go
so stop the video.
under the railroad
This
tracks.
is scary.
Walk on the board right there. See?
I'm gonna start.
It's cool. We're exploring. And then we come out to the trails on the other side.
Wait, did we just go
Under the railroad tracks, yeah, we did.
the train?
So hang on. And then this is what it looks like on this side.
Where's the big guy?
Which big guy? The
Yeah.
fish or the turtle?
The fish. Here he is. Mommy, he just almost ate it. Wait, can we keep moving now?
Hold on. Let me
Mommy,
this
why
turtle.
are you taking me around the pictures?
I'm taking a little video of the turtle. Where'd he go? Where do I see him?
He's right
There's the
there.
fish. I know. There he is. Look how tall this tree is. It's so big.
It's right. Mommy, why are you always so slow?
Because I appreciate all the nature around. Look at how big this tree is.
Can we go now?
It just keeps going. It keeps going. Okay.
There's 2 more far ones. But
I don't think you can jump that far.
Wait, I can jump this far.
Okay, there it is. Almost.
I think you paste it in the bag with the video in the. We haven't found anything yet. For you.
It's okay. I'm having fun.
Oh, like
Yeah, look.
need to show you this one.
Yeah. That.
Mommy, show them in over here.
What do you see?
A swamp.
Swamp?
Little swamp. Can't find the mud.
It's a little muddy.
Oh, this is scary. Will not fall in the crack.
Yeah,
Follow me.
I'm taking a video.
Of who?
You! And the path. And nature. Look.
Now we're in path.
Just going across these little bridges. Are there little tiny fishies in there?
No.
I see bubbles.
That's just a wagon.
Alright, we made it across. Wave.
No, we didn't.
There's more?
Yeah. There's more. It's small.
water warm or cold? Did you touch it? What?
Yeah.
What is he?
Mushroom.
A mushroom.
I love mud. I love this place.
Say that on camera for me.
I love this place. Can we come to it again?
This is fun.
Wait.
Yeah, I hear the train again.